Why Tornado Cash is the easiest 50x crypto trade right now. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet as always. And I'm actually just doing a video specifically on Tornado Cash again because it seems like people are getting more interested into it, and it is probably one of the healthiest coins in the market right now. We had our original entry at 750, 11, as I've talked about previously, and 13. All are within profit. We had that push up to around 1872 before a major rejection down to almost 50% decrease in price. But we tested that downward support trend line, which immediately became bullish, pushing way away from the 200 EMA. These other lines in here, like this black trend line, is the increasing in price before we took off out of this downward trend line. And then we put in another trend line here to try and build this upward momentum. We had that push, and we had our exit plan right here when it broke this trend line. That's why trend lines are important, as everybody else saw that. We had this other upward trend line right here, which we did see a little bit of support, but ultimately broke that as well, and the previous trend line. However, this downward trend line is very important, as well as the 200 EMA, and immediately pushed it right back up. So what can we expect for Tornado Cash? We can expect that it will have a pullback potentially from this area, not even looking at the RSI, but the 618 is back down here at $12.67, which is still above the entry I begged everybody to enter in at before we got over $11. Still above that area very nicely. So for those of you who have not entered, you can trade Tornado Cash on MEXC. And I want to show you an example of MEXC. This is a leverage trade in the futures account of MEXC that I did a while back in April. Sol USDT. You can see that I did the position type was long, and the entry price was 217. My leverage was 30. And if you guys are unaware of what leverage is, say you have, for example, I put in $9.48. It was essentially like I was trading with $210.78. So $9, if it goes down even a fraction, I lose the $9.48. However, it did end up continue going up, and I made $14.88 just playing around with futures, which is 100 and almost 57% return on my profits, because I was trading with ridiculous leverage, just playing around, and I over doubled my money very quickly. I highly do not recommend using leverage trades, as you can get liquidated. Say you put in 1,000 and you 10x that. It's like you're playing with $10,000. If it goes down like 1%, liquidation, you lose your $1,000. But if it goes up, it's like you're trading with 10,000 and you gain a lot more money a lot quicker. I always recommend MEXC. They have prize pools. There's actually something that I wanted to bring up where they have staking. And the staking, if you put in USDT, I believe it's like 600% APY within MEXC. So if you put in, let's say 100 USDT, that's APY, so it's about 3% that you would get in 2 days. But trading with futures, you can do a lot more. You can gain money a lot quicker, but it's highly not recommended by me unless you're willing to lose it very quickly, or essentially gamble is what you're doing. All the money that I have made personally has been with personal trades, and I mean, it's worked out pretty well. I'm not getting liquidated. When I did do Forex back in the day, I got liquidated because I was over leveraging trades, make $700 in a second, but that can get wiped out very quickly when you leverage trade, and the only way to learn is to lose. And so I'm trying to prevent you guys from losing and just do the learning part. As if you've had your entry here at $11, $7.50, or $13, you are currently all in profit, no matter what. So Tornado Cash is currently at $14.79, one of the healthiest coins in the market. And when in doubt, zoom out is what I say. Looking in the weekly, this has a very long way to go to get to the top, The CM Guppy got real thin. We held over that 200 EMA, major push up to $38 from down here at $2. That is the real resistance that we have. We broke a downward trend line, which got rejected here and here. And then we started weaseling our way up over the CM Guppy. Everything's green, everything's bullish. In the weekly, we still have this 200 EMA, which we may get some rejection, like I was talking about when we have the pump. We may get a little rejection here at $22 or $27. The next real resistance is 37 to 39. But in the bigger picture, this thing has a very long way to go to be hitting its all-time high at 459. The exit strategy, I mean, 618 is here at 200, almost 89, almost $300. That's the 618 where we may also get some major rejection, but in between here, 289 and almost $100 for tornado, there's not a whole bunch of resistance. So this thing can just whip up to 459 or beyond and then have major retracement afterwards. So if you are entering at this absolute bottom, it's beautiful. Like the Latin American or like Sofia Vergara. Whew. Yeah, this bottom is intense and it is building support on that 200 EMA as well as the CM Guppy is coming upwards. This is the 4 hour, which is more reputable than the daily. And as you can see with this black upward trend line that originally was our support is now our resistance. We are consolidating, trying to get up over that. Then we have roughly this fan of range, which would be right around the 618, $15. If we can hold above that $15, the next step is up towards 22, like I had explained. But we could also do the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top. If this gets rejected, the 618, it could be pulling back to around 1268. However, it may get some support here at 13. As if we put in, let me delete this. If we put in a support line here on the 4 hour, this is essentially what we want to be holding over. So we could see some consolidation. Could we see a further retracement? Yes. Keeping in mind the 618 as always. This is 4 hours, so this is when we start getting a little bit more anxiety. But stay cool, stay calm, because it looks a lot more scary in the 4 hour than it does the daily, but it is a lot more accurate for information. So we may get that support at 1377, maybe even a little higher. However, if we do get a retracement, we'd expect 1263 before some support back up to the 15. That is kind of the exit strategy for Tornado Cash. If you don't know where to trade it, MEXC is the location. The reference link is in the description below. You get 10 USDT for free for using that link. And if you watch my videos and have not used that link or do not have MEXC, I need like 3 more of you to use that for everybody to start gaining potential passive income with the reference links. So like and subscribe if you have not. 1478 with a potential all-time high of 459. Your entry price right here below $15 or even right above $15. You will not regret your entry price. And then if you move over to MEXC and you start trading in futures, here it is, the passive income for MEXC. 600% USDT for 2 days. It's roughly about 4%. I'm unsure how much money you can put in to earn that 4%, but I believe it's 200 USD is the max that they will give you the 4% on. So toss over a couple $100, leave it there for 2 days. You got 4% on $200 or more. And that's very nice passive income. But for the futures, say you have 10 USDT and you're thinking about putting it in Tornado Cash, you can put it in Tornado Cash, and the moment you click buy, you hope it goes up from there if you have a high leverage rate. This is where the leverage rate is at. You can try it out, but when you do use your leverage, say you do like 300 leverage and it goes down a fraction, your money's gone. But if it goes up a fraction, you start seeing that thing move and you enter with 300x leverage, I mean, that's going to be some pretty substantial gains, even with $10 So play around with it if you want, money you want to gamble with. Do some high leverage trading just for fun. I'm actually going to pull out some of the profits from Tornado and put it into leverage trading, see if I can catch up to the profits I've currently made just in spot trading. None of this is financial advice in any way, but like and subscribe. Good luck, have fun with it, and I will start the video on XCN and the others.